Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, the first day of the week, is another new day, a day for knowledge sharing and deliberations. Eating right is one of the most important aspects of healthy living. The food you eat affects the health and quality of life. Nutrition, place, climate, and recreation are more important than everything. Fitness through exercise is the king, and nutrition is the queen. Put to them together, and one has got the kingdom of happy life. With this point, the Department of Education is conducting the online IQAC-enabled International Conference on Nutrition and Health Education, sponsored by RUSA. On behalf of the organizing team, a warm welcome to one and all present online. Let God's blessings be bestowed on all of us. Let's listen to the prayer, followed by tribute to our founder pro-chancellors. Prayer by Sujita.
நீராடும் கடலுடுப்பு நிலமடந்து கெழிலுருகும் சீராடும் வதனமது திகழ்வத கண்டு நிகும் தேக்கணமும் மகிழ்ச்சிந்த திராவிடங்கள் திருநாளும் தர்க்க சிறு பிழையுடலும் தரிகணும் திலகமுள்ளே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அணித்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனத்தின் செயல் வாழ்வுமே இல்லை பதியுடையாம் சிற்றம்பலம் ஐந்தும் பகலும் எல்லை கரும் அண்ணா கண்ணாடி கண்டு கடத்து வைத்தான் இல்லாத உலகை எதிர்பார்க்கிறேன் புகழை மணிக்காய் புதோரம் உயர்ந்த நெஞ்சம் மலை காட்டும் மகளம் போல் பிரிந்த மாறும் காட்டும் அழிந்த போல கடந்த அணி காட்டும் தாமரையம் அடைந்த பிணி காட்டும் பெற்ற தமிழ் முத்தையாவே பெரியாய் பெற்ற தமிழ் முத்தையாவே பெரியாய் பெற்ற தமிழ் முத்தையாவே பெரியாய் பெற்ற தமிழ் ராமசாமி பெரியாய் பெற்ற தமிழ் ராமசாமி பெரியோர் வாழ்க.
Thank you, Suchita. I call upon the organizing secretary of this international conference, Dr. K. Sailila Madam, who's highly contributed to deliver the welcome address. Madam, please.
Good morning to all. It gives immense pleasure to invite you all to the inaugural function of the IQAC-enabled RUSA 2 sponsored multidisciplinary conference on nutrition and health education, organized by the Department of Education, Annamalai University. First, I'd like to thank our Vice Chancellor, Dr. R.M. Kadiresan sir, for giving permission to organize an international conference on the most relevant topic, nutrition and health education. It was our Vice Chancellor's initiation to concentrate projects and seminars on nutrition and health. I thank him for the great opportunity. Thank you, sir. I'd like to thank our registrar, Dr. Sitaraman sir, for helping us by all means to organize this event. Thank you, sir. I thank directors and deputy directors of RUSA 2.0 for giving this sponsor to organize this program. Now, I feel honored to welcome our Dean Faculty of Education, Dr. S. Kulashekara Perumal Pillai sir, for coming to this function. Welcome you, sir. Welcome you, sir. I proudly welcome our Professor Dr. Ariyudaman Nambi sir, Director of IQAC, Professor of Entomology, Annamalai University. Sir, welcome you, sir. I welcome our Professor and Head Department of Education, Annamalai University, for joining the function. Welcome you, sir. I welcome Dr. Rekha Kaul ma'am, Curtin University, Australia. And I welcome Dr. Vanisha Namyar ma'am, Department of Food and Nutrition, MS University, Baro, Gujarat. Welcome you, ma'am. Welcome. I also extend my thanks for coming to this inaugural function for Rekha Kaul ma'am and Nambiar ma'am among your busiest schedule. Thank you, ma'am. I welcome all the deputy directors of IQAC of Annamalai University, Dr. Ramesh sir, Dr. Selvamuthhukumar sir, Dr. Karthik sir, and Dr. Sanjeevi sir and Mr. Jayaprakash sir. I welcome you, sirs. I welcome all the joint secretaries, Dr. K. Praveena ma'am, Dr. S. Kalaivani ma'am, Dr. N. Amudashri ma'am, Dr. V. Sushila ma'am. I welcome all the staff members of our Annamalai University. I welcome all the participants who have registered from all parts of the country and abroad. Participants are from Zambia, Malaysia, US, etc. In this occasion, I like to thank the students of many institutions who have eagerly registered and taken part in this conference from students of Annamalai College of Education, Dr. NGP Institute, Tamil Nadu Teacher Education University, Bannari Amman Institution of Technology, Hindustan Institution of Engineering and Technology, and National Institute of Siddha. These students, many of the students have registered for this program. We are happy for this, and we welcome all the other participants from other institutions. Thank you.
Next, we have with us Professor Vanisha Nambiar, Madam, the Professor and Coordinator, Public Health and Nutrition, Department of Foods and Nutrition, MS University, Baroda, Gujarat, India. A brief intro to her. She has got 29 years of experience in teaching and research. Her research interests are antioxidants in health and non-communicable diseases, bariatric nutrition, nutrition program for preventive diseases, maternal and child health and nutrition, strengthening developmental programs, policies, and food systems. She has published 6 books, 8 chapters in books, 65 papers in journals, and guided over 29 dissertations for science, dietetics, and public health nutrition. Her awards and accolades are as follows. Fellow of the International Union of Nutrition Sciences 2022, Integrated Health Scholarship 2022 by International Federation of Obesity and Metabolic Disorders, appointed to the World Health Organization as Technical Advisory Group, TAG IC2, Dr. Anandi Gopal Joshi Best Nutritionist Award by the International Society of Medical Food and Nutrition, Alive and Theory Scholarship 2021, member of the World Health Guideline Development Group for Child Obesity 2021, Tata Cornell Institute of Agriculture, University, Ithaca, New York, USA 2015, Young Scientist Junior Awards in NSI 1992, Young Scientist Senior Award by Nutrition and Life Award from Switzerland 1998, IDA Golden Jubilee Award, Swarna Padak Kellogg's Community Nutrition Award from in Advisor UNICEF, Odisha, Center of Excellence, Diabetes India, International Diabetes Federation, former Association Gujarat chapter for 2 consecutive terms, 8 years, and many more. She has completed 29 projects funded by UNICEF, Gujarat, IFPRI, CIAT, Harvest Plus, Government of Gujarat, International Diabetes Foundation, Diabetes India, TSIPL Surat, Municipal Corporation, Rotary Clubs of Surat and Vadodara. She is also the Vice President of the International Society for Medical Food and Nutrition, Vice President of MSCU, FNAA, Coordinator, Deputy Director, Office of International Affairs, MS University, Baroda. Such a dynamic and versatile personality is here with us to inaugurate this international conference. We are very fortunate to have you amidst us in this morning. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation. The platform is yours, Madam.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the kind introduction. And I am extremely honored to address this gathering because without true education, the value of food is lost. So thank you once again, and it's a pleasure to have you amidst, to be amidst all of you. And if you permit, can I share my screen, please? Is my screen visible?
Yes, madam.
Thank you so much. I bring to you greetings from one of the finest universities of India, the Maharaja Sayajirao University, which currently houses students from 55 countries. And we have around 550 students across the world studying in our university. This university is graded A+ by NAC and is situated in Vadodara, Gujarat. Our Department of Foods and Nutrition aims to create world-class, committed public health nutritionists, dietetics, and food science professionals who can contribute meaningfully to social, economic, and health development of the global community. And when we talk about health development, that is where education is very, very important. So we are a part of the Faculty of Family and Community Science, which was formerly known as the Faculty of Home Science. And we offer a postgraduate as well as doctoral level besides our 3 undergraduate streams. Now, I'm very happy that this conference has been organized because our National Education Policy 2020 also focuses on multidisciplinary and holistic education across the sciences, social sciences, arts, humanities, and sports for a multidisciplinary world in order to ensure that there is equity and integrity of all knowledge. And NEP 2020 also talks about respecting diversity, respecting local context in all curriculum, pedagogy, and policy, and always keeping in mind that education is a concurrent subject. And it also focuses on full equity and inclusion as a cornerstone of all educational decisions to ensure that all students are able to thrive in the education system. We all know about the Sustainable Development Goals 1 to 17. And today, you are focusing on quality education, but my Department of Foods and Nutrition focuses on the first 3 goals, which is no poverty, zero hunger, and good health and well-being. However, nutrition is closely linked with all the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, whether it includes climate change, because climate also affects nutrition, partnerships for goal, because we work in tandem with various stakeholders, and all other sustainable development goals. Now, the nutrition and health story started many years ago when Hippocrates said that let food be thy medicine and not medicine be thy food. However, in the Alma Ata Declaration in 1977 at the World Health Assembly, they all recognized that there has to be a health policy, and the spirit of Alma Ata was carried forward in the Charter for Health Promotion, which is adopted in the Ottawa Conference in 1986, where they spoke about 5 health promotion action areas, that is building healthy public policy, creating supportive environment, develop personal skills, strengthen community action, and reorient health services. And in all this, education has a very important role to play. So let's talk about nutrition. What is nutrition? We know that the taking in and the use of food and other nourishing material by the body is known as nutrition. But it is a 3-part process. First, food or drink is consumed. After that, we talk about physiology, anatomy, biochemistry. What happens to the food? That means how is the food broken down in the body into nutrients? And third is absorption, bioefficacy, bioavailability. That means how the nutrients travel through the bloodstream to different parts of the body where they are used as fuel and for many other purposes. And to give body proper nutrition, a person has to eat and drink proper nutrients. So these nutrients range from carbohydrates, fat, protein, vitamin, minerals, and water. And when there is an imbalance of nutrients in the body, it is known as malnutrition, which can be further categorized into undernutrition or overnutrition. Undernutrition further categorized into underweight, stunting, wasting, and micronutrient deficiency, whereas overnutrition is categorized into overweight and obesity. All the nutritional problems can be categorized into either of these categories. Now, the United Nations Decade for Action on Nutrition focuses on an action to reduce hunger and malnutrition in all its member states, and that will enable to reach the WHO global nutrition targets. The targets can be for undernutrition as well as for overnutrition. Now, we all know India's nutrition challenge. It is the largest producer in terms of food. However, it also houses highest number of undernourished people in the world. And The challenge is facing in the reproductive age women as well as children under 5 years of age. We still have women suffering from anemia, and still our children are not healthy. They are underweight, they're stunted, they're wasted, and they're deficient in many micronutrient deficiencies, including iron, vitamin A, calcium, and so on. They're also susceptible to infections, morbidities, disabilities, and mortality. And that leads to poor adult productivity and poor learning capabilities. So, though you impart education, their capacity to learn is not there. And that also has an influence on India's socioeconomic cost because the number of years of schooling reduces, the number of rupees that you earn is less, and that leads to poverty and a loss of economy. So, what are the prerequisites for health? The fundamental conditions and resources are peace, shelter, education, food. And we are going to focus on two: food and education. And besides this, there are income, sustainable ecosystem, sustainable resources, social justice, equity, so on and so forth. Nobody can live without food. From the Last Supper, that the meal that Jesus shared with his apostles in Jerusalem, to his crucifixion, to eating a Kerala meal or a Tamilian meal on a green banana leaf or seated on the floor, food has always played a fundamental role in the nation's culture, and food is always just more than nutrients. But do we actually have to eat so much? No, we have to eat right. And for that, we need to educate people. This is the thali on my plate suggested by the National Institute of Nutrition, which is in Hyderabad, and it's an ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research Unit. And it says half of the plate should be full of fresh leaves and fresh fruits and vegetables. So why is there undernutrition? And let's talk about what is undernutrition. The government of India has started many programs and policies, and it is very important that the Department of Education understands these program and policy, because one of the program, the revised Poshan Abhiyan or Poshan 2.0, which is an integrated action or integrated mission to reduce malnutrition, has a very, very important part, and which is education and capacity building. It talks about domain and skill training for the Anganwadi workers. It talks about local specific nutrition education, and it also talks about lot of capacity building by the FSSAI and NIN for improving the quality of take-home rations and hot cook meals. The new portion also talks about convergence, where the Department of Education has a huge role to play, because nutrition and health education is a very robust part of this program, which has convergence with other departments such as health, WCD, WASMO, rural, tribal, agriculture, Panchayati Raj, food and civil supplies, and social justice departments. Now, these are the types of IC material which are used by the portion, and I'm sure your department can definitely play a lot of role and be part of the system in order to strengthen and reduce malnutrition. Now let's talk about overnutrition and non-communicable disease. There are four main types: cardiovascular disease, cancer, chronic respiratory disease, and diabetes, and other types such as hypertension, dyslipidemia, obesity, rheumatoid arthritis, cardiovascular disease, osteoporosis, so on and so forth, including mental health issues. And the mother of all is insulin resistance, that is, including too much of carbohydrate in your diet. It will lead to all these non-communicable diseases. So all you have to talk to people is eat less of carbs, have more of protein, good quality fat, and there is where your education has a great, great role to play. So what can be done? Health promotion, as I already said. Currently, 3.1 billion people in the world cannot afford even the cheapest healthy diet, though diet is essential for good health and well-being. Therefore, making healthy diets economically accessible to everyone will also contribute to the goal number 3, which is good health and well-being. Now, health promotion is a process of enabling people to increase control over and to improve their health. Health promotion is not just responsibility of the health sector, but it goes beyond healthy lifestyles to well-being. So what are the three components of health promotion? Number one, advocate. Good health is a major resource for social, economic, and personal development, and an important dimension of quality of life. Political, social, economical, cultural, environmental, behavior, and biological factors can all favor health or be harmful to it. So you need to understand and read the labels. And for that, FSSI and government needs to educate people to learn to read labels and see what is healthy and what is unhealthy. The second one is enable. It talks about achieving equity in health. It talks about reducing differences in current health status, and people cannot achieve their fullest health potential unless they are able to take control of those things which are determining their health. And there has to be equally for men as well as women, and there has to be equity, not disparity. And the third one is mediation. People in all walks of lives, including the teachers, have to mediate. Professionals and social groups and health professionals have a major responsibility. And I'm very, very thankful to the organizers for inviting me for this in the forum of educationists, because you are the torch bearers for these health promotion programs strategies. So nutrition education is a broad vision which encompasses educational strategies and environmental support to encourage adoption of healthier, sustainable food choices and eating patterns. It goes beyond to foster critical thinking. It talks about attitudinal change and practical skills, as well as an integrated action to facilitate and enable health conducive food behaviors and environment. If you do not have good food in your own canteens, you cannot be expecting that people who are studying in your college or universities learn about good nutrition. So start from your own institution. It talks about multiple settings, targeting different population, adopting evidence-based, theory-driven approaches, and it has lot of foundation knowledge and skills and competencies which is required. Good training is required. Only then you can become effective nutrition educators. So let's bring our best foods of our tradition and revive Indian food anthropology and educate our masses. Let's work together and use our skills for nation building. Thank you so much once again for having me here. These are the two books, Indian Food Anthropology, which covers information from all walks of life. Thanks. Over to you, organizers.
Thank you, madam, for the wonderful inaugural address, highlighting don't eat so much, eat right, eat less of carbs and eat of more protein. And regarding the spirit of Alma Mater, the 5 health promotion areas have been highlighted very nicely by you. And the prerequisites for health and the health promotion activities was enlisted nicely. Thank you, madam, for the informative inaugural address. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Professor S. Ariude Nambi, sir, Head, Department of Entomology, Faculty of Agriculture, is a person who's patient, persistent, and performance-oriented. Such a great leader who's leading the IQAC, striving hard to maintain and improve the quality of teaching, research, and extension activity in the campus is our IQAC Director, Professor S. Ariude Nambi, sir. Sir will now deliver the special address. Sir, please.
the most respected Dean Dr. S. Kulasegara Perumal Pillai, Faculty of Education, Annamalai University. Professor Vanitha Nambiar, Coordinator of Public Health and Nutrition, the MS University of Baroda, who delivered inaugural address in this Nutrition and Health Education Conference. Dr. V. Ambedkar, Professor and Head Department of Education, Annamalai University, who is waiting to offer his felicitations. And Professor Rekha Kaul, School of Education, Australia, Curtin University, and all other organizers, especially the organizing secretary, Dr. K. Sai Leela, coordinators, Dr. S. Ramesh Kumar, S. Karthik Kumar, Dr. T. Sellamuthu Kumaran, and Dr. K. Sanjeevi, Dr. K. Jayaprakash. They are the Deputy Directors of Internal Quality Assurance Cell of Annamalai University. Then the Joint Directors, Dr. K. Pravina, Dr. S. Kalaivani, Dr. N. Amadasri, and Dr. V. Susila, and all other persons who are all just watching this particular conference online, and the participants who are attending this offline. Good morning to everyone present here. This is a very good topic. This is a very important topic also. So if you see the Indian growth related to the food and nutrition. So earlier, because of so many famines, especially just like Bengal famine, there are so many drawbacks in actually issuing food material to Indians. Not only in India, even in some other countries, especially South Asian countries, they suffered a lot because of the scarcity of food. So there were some classification, just the sector or ratio of people having food and the people without food. Now, in this century, the ratio related to the people without food, it is somewhat reduced. And now we have another classification, people with food and people with nutritious food. Recently, even under the nutritious food, the people are thinking for organic food that is without the residue of chemicals, especially insecticides. So this is the very important aspect. The education related to nutrition, and it is actually combined with health. It's a very important topic. So I came to know that there are almost 120 participants across the world is there, and in this two-day multidisciplinary online international conference, there may be around 7 sessions. There are so many stalwarts waiting to share their views related to the food, nutrition, and their relation to the health. Especially if you see the nutrition and health, hygiene is also a very important part here. So even if you say there may be, we can call that as a strong body, even energy body and active body. There may be a lot of differences between strong body, an active body, and energy body. So for all these types of classifications, the base unit is food. So now the world is totally worrying about the diseases related to cancer and other brain tumors. Even there are a lot of diseases related to nerves. All these things are mainly because of food we are taking with a lot of insecticide residue. So in addition to this type of nutrition and health education, so we have to teach the persons or our population how to remove the residues from the food material, or how to conserve the nutrients in the food. These are all the very important points that we have to discuss in this international conference. So I wish the organizers for a good deliberation for the coming 2 days. They will. This will be a useful seminar to all of them. Thank you very much for the organizers for having given me the opportunity to meet you all online. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your informative special address. Our Professor and Head, Dr. V. Ambedkar, sir, Department of Education, and Dean, Dr. S. Kulasekara Perumal, Dean, Faculty of Education, are engaged with another important academic activity, hence they are unable to join us. However, they have conveyed their best wishes for the successful conduct of this international conference. Now we have with us Professor Rekha Kaul from School of Education, Curtin University, Australia, to deliver the keynote address. A brief intro to her. She is the Dean, International Faculty of Humanities and Associate Professor at STEM Research Group, School of Education, Curtin University, Australia. She has over 3 decades of teaching and research experience. Her expertise lies in the development, refinement, and validation of questionnaires, investigation of the effects of classroom environments on student outcomes, evaluation of educational programs, teacher action research aimed at improving their environments, and evaluation of curriculum. She has successfully secured many local, national, and international research grants to the value of over $1 million. Her publication record includes 2 books authored, 7 books edited, 8 book chapters, and many journal articles published in peer-reviewed journals. She has delivered invited keynote addresses and also conducts teacher professional learning workshop. Rekha convenes International Conference on Science, Mathematics, and Technology Education, a biannual conference in different parts of the world, and has established a Learning Environment Research Center in Indonesia. She has been elected as the chair of the Jumki Basu Scholarship, NARCST 2016-18, and is the chair for Learning Environment SIG area. We are very fortunate to have you amidst us, madam. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation and being with us. It is an honor to have you amidst us. I now request you, madam, to deliver the keynote address. Madam, please.
Thank you. Can I share my screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. First of all, thank you to Annamalai University for inviting me for this talk and having faith in me, because the area of this conference is a little bit out of my expertise, but I just try to fit in whatever I talk, because my main research is around the learning environment. Thank you to Professor Nambiar, who in a way set the scene for my talk, which was really very timely. And what I'm going to talk about is sustainability and sustainable consumption behaviors. As I know, when India started its first 5-year plan, keeping in view there was a lot of poverty, 80% of India was living in rural areas. The call given by NIN, National Institute of Nutrition, was look after the calories and proteins will take care of itself. But in recent times, with affluence coming in, what we are, which has been touched by Professor Nambiar as well, we are seeing overconsumption of food, and we really don't know what to eat. Is this what we are eating? You have so much available in the supermarkets, and fresh fruits and vegetables, which should we have the focus, which again 50% of our diet should be fresh fruits and vegetables. Are we taking that? And if we are not taking that, what's its impact on our behavior and overall sustainability, which UN is asking us to reach?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Rekha, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, it is echoing, ma'am.
Are you saying
I can't.
2 devices with you, ma'am.
Pardon?
2 devices. Have you logged in 2 devices?
Yes.
It is getting echo.
Is it better now? Is it better now?
Voice not clear.
Voice not clear, ma'am, somewhat. Please log in one device or
Okay.
reduce the volume, ma'am.
Okay, what I'll do, just a minute. Wait.
Hello, ma'am.
Is it better now?
Ma'am? Please speak now.
Is it better now?
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
No, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
No.
I think it's from your end, not from here. Because now I'm on only one device, and there shouldn't be any problem.
Okay, ma'am. Please continue.
Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sorry for that. Now that we have been talking about the food, is
Ma'am, continue, ma'am.
just a minute. And what we are talking about is the sustainable behaviors. If we really want food to last, is UN has given us 17 sustainable goals. Out of that, the goal 12 is talking about sustainability and sustainable consumption behaviors. What is it about? It is that these 17 goals are around sustainability, and 12.1 is specifically talking about food consumption, which has to be sustainable. It is paragraph 28 of 2030 agenda reads, we commit to making fundamental changes in our consumption. And it is focusing on individuals who are making unsustainable consumption and production patterns. You will tell me why are you talking to me when India has so many problems, but it is considerable population who are consuming unsustainably. Why we have the epidemic of diabetes, overnutrition. So what can we do? We need to move towards sustainable consumption and production. We have to increase the production and consume wisely. What's happening in this area is around 1.3 billion tons of food. Because it's worth $1 trillion US, ends up rotting in the bins. And people worldwide have switched energy efficient light bulbs, and we are saving 120 billions. But if you look at food, how much are we wasting? And should the global population reach 9.6 billion by 2050, we world won't be sustainable food-wise. So what we need to do, we need to be doing more and better with lesser. India will be reaching 1.8 billion by 2050. And it will be difficult for us to feed everyone. So what will we lose? As consumers, you'll tell consumers are driving the business. Consumers are driving the government effort, and consumers are driving the civil society. So as consumers, what can we do? There are many aspects of consumption that can have big impact on society as a whole. We can reduce our waste. We can use sustainable options wherever possible, and reuse, recycle plastic bottles and containers is being taught a lot. But are we talking about enough about reducing food loss and waste? That's something we need to consider. Consumer changes in food, need to change. We need to have efficiency in technological advances alone will not make sufficient to bring global consumption to a sustainable level. Changes in consumer behaviors have happened. Consumers have to be responsible toward achieving food security. And what is food security? 690 million people, or which we call 8.9% of world population, are hungry every day. While 38 billion children under age 5 are overweight or obese. They were in 2019. COVID-19 pandemic and Ukraine war has put a lot of disruption on production of food. In India, increase in food prices has affected low-income families, and food security has become a major concern in India these days. So ensuring food security involves the study of whole food value chain, the food system, and producers to end consumers. So it's not only producers, it's not only consumers, the whole food chain has to be visualized in full and see what we can do in that area. The agri-food system covers the journey of food from farm to table. When it is grown, when it's fished, harvested, processed, packaged, transported, distributed, traded, bought, prepared, eaten, and disposed of. So at each stage, so all our consumers, we need to see carefully where can we save food. If we are losing trillions of dollars in the transportation itself, food losses and wastages, where do we lose food? It is defined a decrease at all stages of food chain. Food losses can happen before consumption level and occurs at consumption level, like reduction of global and local available food. We take pride in having foreign fruits, which is I think in few years, but it has become a norm in India to have fruit from Australia or New Zealand. Why can't we rely more on locally available food? Negative impact on food excesses or long-term effect of food security, we need to look into that very carefully. When I look at the UN Sustainable Goal 12.3, it says two components, which is losses and waste that should be measured by two separate indicators. And you have sustained talk about sub-indicated 12.3.1, which is around the food loss index, and B, we talk about the food waste. Food loss and food waste need to be taken into consideration. What are food losses? Where are they happening? They are happening at harvesting, at transport, at storage, and processing time. And 13.3% of world food is lost during harvesting and before it reaches the retail. And once it reaches retail, 70% of food is wasted at consumer level. If you put both of them together, 70 plus 30, it makes nearly 30% of the food is wasted. And at the same time, in world, we are facing food shortages. We lose food in the houses, in the grocery stores, at household, and in restaurants. What do we do to change the consumer behaviors? Field of food consumption involves processes at individual or group level, and we need to develop those behaviors which have the theory. I looked at some consumer behavior theories and put them in place and develop that awareness, which happens at sustainable consumption, socialization, effect of pandemic on sustainable food consumption, and livelihood. Perspectives. This was all literature I could see from worldwide around sustainable consumption. And I'm not going to go in details about it, but very recent literature, there was very little literature I could find about the sustainable consumption behaviors in recent years, and very little happening in India. Not much literature came out of India. In terms of sustainable food consumption, Mom and Brody has done a study, and Azuri talked about consequences of deliberate or unconscious action of consumers for the consumption. Now, overconsumption of food wastage, there was a lot of literature available from time to time, but study talked about panic buying, what happened around the COVID time. People started stocking and then throwing out food. I looked at socialization. When we socialize, we overcook and we overconsume. And that's putting a lot of pressure on the food chain. So what can we do about and what are the effects of pandemic on sustainable food consumption? Is I did put a few studies in here. Since 2020, there has been a lot of studies about pandemic. And food wastage, notably in the area of sustainable consumption. Most of the literature, pandemic is examined as an independent variable. It would be good if we could look at it as a dependable variable. Using the theory of planned behaviors, Leher examined the effect of pandemic as well. So studies are happening, and when I looked at the theory, it is we have an event, we have socialization, we have stress and coping, developmental growth, and it gives behavioral change. what we need to bring into our everyday living and be careful and be mindful of our consumption. And move on to the next one. What can we do to contribute towards sustainable consumption is we need to bring in behavioral changes, which are the barriers that might be affecting the decision making about sustainable consumption. There will be lots of challenges, which is choices in consumption after people behavior, like as behavior we are used to overbuying and then throwing food in the bins. Consequences of consumption are often hard to see, but we are all consuming and lots of overconsumption, diseases. Sustainable consumption may not seem personally relevant. Oh no, I'm not you wasting food. Behavior is influenced by peers and social groups. If my friend is overeating, I may go into that direction. And it can be hard to follow a sustainable choice. But if we follow that and we understand and address the challenges, it will help us strive towards sustainability through a cooperation of individuals, which would be groups, producers, government, and civil society. Thank you. I have the references which I use in this talk here. Thank you. If anyone has questions here, I would welcome them. Floor is back to you, Annamalai University.
Kuska kara paranga. Kuska. KOS. Kuska.
Thank you, madam, for the wonderful keynote address. Now is the time to express gratitude. I invite Dr. V. Susila, one of the organizing secretary, to propose the vote of thanks. She is known for her sincerity to the task assigned. Madam will now deliver the vote of thanks.
Very good morning to one and all. It is our privilege and pleasure to greet and salute the dignitaries and the elite gatherings who have assembled here for the inaugural function organized by the Department of Education, IQAC-enabled RUSA 2.0 sponsored multidisciplinary online international conference on nutrition and health education for 2 days on 20th and 21st of February 2023. We thank the university authorities, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor R.M. Kadiresan sir, and Chief Patron of this program, and Patron Professor K. Sitaraman sir, Registrar in charge, Annamalai University, for granting permission to conduct the program. Thank you, sir. Also, we thank the conference director, Professor S. Arivide Nambi sir, and all the coordinators, deputy coordinators of IQAC for jointly organizing, and the director, RUSA 2.0, for sponsoring the multidisciplinary online international conference. We sincerely thank Professor Vanisha Nambiar, Professor and Coordinator of Public Health Nutrition, Department of Foods and Nutrition, MS University of Baroda, Gujarat, from India, who has graciously accepted to be the chief guest of today's function with her busy schedules and to bless this function by delivering the inaugural address. Thank you, ma'am. We are greatly indebted to our Director, IQAC, Professor S. Arivide Nambi sir, Head Department of Entomology, Faculty of Agriculture of Annamalai University, for his constant encouragement, guidance all through the conference. Thank you very much, sir, for all the support and delivering the special address. Our sincere thanks are due to the revered today's guest, keynote speaker, Professor Rekha Kaul, Dean International, Faculty of Humanities and Associate Professor at STEM Research Group, School of Education, Curtin University from Australia, for her kind gesture in accepting our invitation and making this function a grand success by delivering the delightful keynote address. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Our sincere thanks to the chair of this international conference, Professor R. Gnanadevan sir, Professor, Department of Education and former Registrar, Member Syndicate of Annamalai University, Co-Patron Dr. S. Kulasegara Perumal sir, Dean Faculty of Education, convener of this program, Dr. V. Ambedkar sir, Professor Head Department, and all the coordinators, Deputy Directors of IQAC of Annamalai University, Dr. Ramesh Kumar sir, and Dr. Karthik Kumar sir, Dr. Selva Muthukumaran sir, Dr. Sanjeevi sir, and Dr. Jayaprakash sir, and co-conveners and members from the Department of Education. And it is our pleasure to thank all the members of advisory committee from national and international levels. And I thank all the speakers, chairpersons for all the technical sessions, and my dear participants from various places in India and abroad, Zambia, Malaysia, and the US, and etc., who have evinced a keen interest in participating in the international conference and extend their full support in making this function a grand success. Thank you. Our special thanks to all our teaching staff, Department of Education, Protocol Officer, Professor P. Ravichandran sir, research scholars and non-teaching staff of IQAC and PRM office, and all the elite gatherings who have assembled here. Thank you all. I thank Sujita and Gopi Krishna, BFA student, 4th year from the Department of Music, and with heading by the Mr. Rajesh sir for prayer song. I thank Dr. Sai Leela madam, organizing secretary of this mega event, and I greatly applaud her for organizing many such events successfully. And my sincere thanks go to the joint secretaries of this program, Dr. Praveena madam, Dr. Kalaivani madam, Dr. Amuda Sri madam, and myself, Dr. Shushila, from the Department of Education, Annamalai University. We thank Dr. Praveena madam for her nice comparing. Finally, I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. Thanks to one and all. Thank you.
Next session from
Next, we have invited lectures. Yuli madam, are you online? Yuli madam?
She is there. I saw her.
Ma'am?
She has some problem.
Ma'am, Yuli ma'am? Can we start the invited lecture, madam? Please come, please come. Yes, ma'am. You unmute yourself. Ma'am, unmute yourself, ma'am.
Out. Done. Okay. Because I cannot allow unmute.
Yes, ma'am. Now we can hear you.
That's good. That's good. Because I cannot allow to unmute from the house. Okay.
Can we start, ma'am?
Yes, please. Thank you very much.
Today, the first invited lecture is by Professor Yuli Rahamati, Head of the Chemistry Education Department, Faculty of Mathematics and Natural Science from Universitas Negeri Jakarta, Indonesia. It's my pleasure to introduce her to the august audience. She has got her PhD in Science Education from Curtin University, Australia in 2018, and she did her master's with distinction from Curtin University of Technology, Australia, and postgraduate diploma in Science Education with distinction from Curtin University of Australia. Presently, she is working as the head of the chemistry education from November 2019 till now. Her awards and scholarship is, she is the International Dean, Course Academic DAD Germany 2022, Women in Academic Leadership DAD Germany 2019, Best Lecturer, State University of Jakarta in 2017, DIAS Training Scholarship from UniLead DAD Oldenburg, Germany, 2016. Received various research grants. She has published more than 30 reputed international journals. Her Australian Partnership Scholarship for Master's degree in 2006 and 2008, and Curtin International Research Tuition Scholarship and Australia Research Grant ARC. She has got a doctoral degree in 2009 to 2019. She has been an invited speaker for more than 25 lectures. She's received international research projects from Unilead Southeast Asia, DAR Germany 2020, Learning for Empathy from UNESCO 2020, STEM project with Curtin University funded by Australia and Indonesia Institute 2018, Southeast Asia Mobility SAM 21 program, University Mobility in Asia and Pacific, Japan in 2016 and 17, Australia Research Council grant on co-teaching and co-generative dialogue, Perth, Western Australia from 2009 to 2011. She's been a reviewer of various reputed journals like the Indonesian Journal of Chemistry under Scopus, Reflective Practice Taylor and Francis, Curriculum Journal Taylor and Francis, Culture Studies of Science Education in Springer, International Journal of Instruction, Computers and Education Open DOJ, Dialogue Pedagogy from Scopus, Journal Eurasia, Journal of Mathematics, Science and Technology in Scopus, Helion in Scopus, Issues in Educational Research Scopus, Journal of Technology and Science Education in Scopus. She has been a member of the Public Policy National Education Standard of Science Learning in 2014, in Teacher Education in 2015, Graduate Competency in 2016, in Curriculum Development in 2017, Mathematics and Science Learning in 2018, Book of Standard-Based Education System in Indonesia 2019, Book of Graduate Competency of 2045 in 2020, Multi-Level for National Standard of Education 2021. She's been the National Standard of Educator, PSKP, Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology 2022. Such a dynamic and versatile personality is here to give the invited lecture today on behalf of the organizing committee. A warm welcome to you, madam. We are very fortunate to have you amidst us this morning. I kindly request you to deliver the lecture. The platform is yours.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you, Reka, for giving me the opportunity as well to give the lectures today. I would like to share my research on the ethical dilemma story pedagogy for sustainable future that related to the topic of health, nutrition and health education. So I would like to say where I am because it's a part of the introduction of the background of my study. I would like to share regarding the transformative education that I have been working on throughout my research and teaching, and also education as sustainability. It is also a part of my PhD dissertation. And the last one is about the ethical dilemma story pedagogy, that which is using the dilemma stories that's a part of value-based learning. And I would like to share that the CV has been introduced myself as a speaker on this conference. I would like to share, I believe it also represents the multicultural of Indian people as well. In Indonesia, we share several figure on the population. We are the fourth most populated country in the world, which is 270 million people. And then for the ethnic group, we almost have more than 1,000 ethnic group with the 700 languages. And then it is also this thing because of the young generation didn't use the ethnic language again. And then if you see the island of Indonesia, we have the maritime island with 34 provinces, and the island itself is more than 17,000 islands in Indonesia. And then as a part of the religion, we are the biggest Muslim country, and then it's around 86% of the population is Muslim, and then also Christian, Protestant, Catholic, and Hindu, and Buddhism, Confucius, and also others. So it is a part of our diversity in the countries. And then my university, it is a part of public university that focusing on the teacher education. So only 12 public pedagogical university in Indonesia. And then one of the university is my university in the capital city of Jakarta. So we consider that we will have 2030 will be the we get the demography bonus that have the young generation. That's why we face the challenge of the young generation competencies. And if we look the university itself, it is my university in Jakarta. So if you not yet visit Jakarta, Indonesia, we are in the capital city of Indonesia, and then we will move the capital city into the Kalimantan, into the different island. We has been established since 1964. It has been 58 years old. And then originally we only focus on teacher education. And then in 1999, we convert into the university. So Faculty of Education become a university. And then currently we have more than 26 students, and then we responsible for the teacher quality on the professional development of teachers, because not all university in Indonesia is allowed to conduct the teacher professional development. And then for the background of my research, that I have been mentioned about the transformative education, that the challenge of our generation is about the revolution industry. We have to shifting our teaching and learnings, and also how the characters of our students, and then sustainability development itself as a part of the challenge of our community, and also environmental problems. And then if you see the new the new tools that the chat GPT, you can asking so many questions in education for ourselves. It's become the ethical issue, how we manage the student achievement and also the character of the students to dealing with that kind of tools as well. And if you also learn about the World Economic Forum report on the future jobs, that's we can see how we dealing about the relationship between humans and also the robot, the artificial intelligence. And we have been share our jobs to the technology that they are doing the data processing, even more of the reasoning, decision making, also related to how we using the human and also the machines in the future, the technology. So it's really challenging for us. And then if we have looked the OECD future competencies on the transformative competencies that mention about we not only using the student that on the cognitive aspect, not only the knowledge, but also the attitudes, the values, and also the skills. And it is important for us as teachers that aware that well-being is very important, and also the agency of the students. And then why I'm doing my research that I representing today, that's related on the critical thinking, the analysis, the 21st century skills, even the 22nd century skills that has been developed that related to the future competencies that we need for our future generation. And it is the SDGs, and it is the picture of Indonesia. We still have the challenge on the students intact on the schools, and then we have the obligation to get the schools years of from 9 years old and of study in the primary and the junior high schools, but we try to improve, and then we still have to face the challenge of the early childhood and also the equity in education. So we would like to achieve the quality of education itself that relevant to the sustainable development goals. And in Indonesia context, we are lucky that we have the new curricula. We call it Curriculum Merdeka, of freedom of curriculum, freedom of learning. And then there is a project. The project on sustainability is a part of the curricula. Even the ministry and the policy reduce the 20 until 30% of the curricula to put the project on the curricula. So we reduce the content of curricula. It is just implementing in our country. And then if we see the role of students, we can see that we would like to our student become an agent of change, the future generation, and that have that abilities. And also we would like to our teacher become innovation. So we have so many programs that empower the teacher, even though we still have so many challenges as well. And then as a part of teacher education, that I'm a teacher educator, so I I have responsible to educate the student teachers, especially on education as sustainability. So the thing that I would like to share is the ethical dilemma story pedagogy, that dilemma that we facing everyday lives, and also it is related on social emotional learnings. And then the things that we would like to do is the engagement of our students. So the first one is about the transformative learning. So based on all the theoretical framework in education, we know about the transformative learning at least five points, that they aware about who they are in the culture perspective. I'm Indonesian and the others from the other countries, and also relational with others. It's all not only up to human, human to God, and also human to the environment, and also critical knowing, being criticals, and then visionary, being empowered to do something in the futures, and then knowing in action is doing something. So these values is embraced on all the values of transformative learning. So if you do teaching, research, and so on, you need to empower your students to be aware of environmental problems and also doing something. So it's about self, others, future, and action. If we relate it to the butterfly, it is not only getting bigger, but also become more beautiful. And in transformative learning theories that I implementing in chemistry learning is not only individual dimension, but also how you give contribution to the society, and also not only getting a job, but also relevant education need to be developed in chemistry learning, because it's a part of my my subject, that my field on the chemistry education. That the characteristic not only symbolic, understanding the chemical is changing, but also they understand how to implementing their knowledge in the daily lives. And then if we have a look that I mentioned about how we empower our student in the classroom, that if you would like to empower others, you need to be caring to others. So it's a part of the transformative learning as itself. And then the second one is about the dialectical thinking. It's not only you do several things that have 2 points, the negative and also the positive one. So it is focused on the student as well as focus on the teachers. That is the dialectical thinking. And also enrichment scientific worldview, not only understanding the chemical formula, but also the dangers and also the benefits and so on that related to the environment. And also regarding the teaching identity, because it is important for the pre-service teacher, in-service teacher to understand that what is their role and then what they can do in the classroom. And then I try to make a research team. It is, if you see my publication, is all fall in on this focus. So the first is social emotional learning, is all dilemma story, socio-critical problem oriented. So if I supervise my student will do this kind of research under my research team. And the environmental sustainability about the green chemistry, small scale laboratory, so the small size, and also life cycle analysis is means when the student using the paper, for example, they have to understand that the paper itself is come from the trees, and the trees itself is so many years and 1,000 years they have to build and to get the paper. So that is the life cycle analysis to be included in the classroom. And the culture identity, that's I empower the students to understand who they are in the culture identity, and also to employ that related to the chemistry to the culture itself. STEAM, I will share the STEAM, the dilemma STEAM, because I focus on dilemma at the moment, and then conceptual understanding, that also a part of my research, but focusing on the mental state and brain-based learning, and also the other approach that empower to understand the student understanding. And it is the transformative education research group that we has been developed in Indonesia, and then we has been working together as a part of international transformative research group. Peter is my supervisor and Reka is my co-supervisor that has been enriched my perspective on conducting research and teaching. And it is education as sustainability. If you have theoretical framework, there is different perspective of integrating the environmental problem sustainability in education. It is about only deliver the content, and then for sustainability is you engage with the daily lives. It is contextualized, and education as sustainability is the highest one. It is empowerment, doing action, and then student not only be aware, but doing something. And if you see this education as sustainability, in education, we try to make it as sustainability, not only as a content, not only students know that you throw the waste on the rubbish bin, not only like that, but also empower them to understand that they have to develop their critical and reflective thinker and also lifelong learners. And then since it is a part of accommodation, reformation, and also the transformation, so we have to understand that the empowerment of our students and teachers is very important to understand that we not only to give them the knowledge, but also the attitude and also the values about awareness on the environmental problems. And if you see the level of consciousness, we realize that it is not easy to transform for others to education and sustainability. That's why, for example, if you need the food, at least it is the basic need, and then it is in the level 4 if you would like to transform the values. So the 1, 2, 3 need to be solved before you reach the transformative about the education as sustainability. And it is the last one because I have short time. It is about the ethical dilemma story pedagogy. If you would like to have a look the publication and then several research, you can contact me, and then you can have a look as well in the research grade. It's also some of the article has been published. And so what is behind the issue of dilemma story teaching pedagogy? It is about character and value-based education. So the theoretical framework is based on values and knowledge education. What is values and knowledge education? We have to create the teaching and learning as experience should be meaningful because it is contextualized, meaningful, and authentic. That's why if you would like to engage the student, you have to teach them, you have to give them the problems that on their environment. For example, the flood in Indonesia and also the waste, the sea, the pollution, everything, it should be related to daily life. And also at the second one, it should be empowering, so that once they realize there is a problems, they need to be empowered to solve the problems. So it is all the ideas, and if you see the colors, the social and emotional learning, dilemma teaching pedagogy, culture, it is the things that I have been working on, and then some of the teaching model that I have been developed throughout the time. And then if you see what is dilemma teaching pedagogy and then what is dilemma story teaching pedagogy, we use the stories. So you have to create the story as a teachers to engage the student to think critically about dilemma problem. So the study case, the problem should be dilemma. For example, if you would like to choose banana leaves or the plastic bag, which one do you choose? So something that related to the to students' life, but it should be making a dilemma, difficult to choose because of several conditions of economics and then health issue and so on. So there is no clear solution. That is the dilemma. And it should be involve the self-reflection because the assumption itself cannot be taken from granted. It's really reflective personal values, and then through the dilemma decision, it will be there is a debate, peer discussion, and then also problem solving that based on the possible solution. And who is the one who create the story? The story is developed by the teacher itself. And then what it should be related to the local culture. So it cannot be used the other cultures because the student will not get engaged. So I warping up about the dilemma story. Since the dilemma is using the ethical dilemmas, it involves the reflection, is also contextualized. For example, in chemistry, you can relate to the global warming issue, and in Indonesia we use for frying the food couple times and it is become dark. And then we ask students, would you like to eat that kind of food? But you don't have any choice because it will be expensive to throw the oil only for couple fried the food, and also all the battery and the other issue that has been integrated, and it should be related to the curricula issue. And it is all the issue. And then it is, if you have time, have a look the YouTube about the creating life. So it is the issue about the US researcher, they find out the DNA construction, and they decided they don't believe God because they already create the life. And it becomes also the issue, and then it can be used as a dilemma teaching pedagogy, using the dilemma story, using the plastic bag, drug users, and also the genetic modified food. And it is the example of dilemma story. It is on the topic in Indonesia. We have the curricula of understanding the plastic. So from the chemical formula. And then if you tell the story to the student in the classroom, you have to put the students into the position of the actor, and then the person that we would like to tell the story. For example, you are the 11th grade students that live in East Jakarta, your family using blah, blah, blah. And there is a question, how do you respond with that issue? What action do you would like to do? So it will be group working, and the student need to solve the problem by themselves and then working together. And then we move forward to the next story. The next story, life goes on, and then your mother's trying to washing worker. And because in Indonesia, for the poor family, they will washing that will become working in the house and then washing, and then some of the father also not working. So, but they need that that for develop the economic. So there is a financial consideration. So we put all the chemical related curricula, and also with the all story, the case study, and then put dilemma on it. And in this the teaching model. So when you teach the student, give the photo first. It can be using the video in YouTube, the picture, the picture and so on. And then once in the problem solving, you give the dilemma story, and then in the content integration, you give the content in curricula. In the project development, you create the project. And then what happened when I create dilemma STEAM? Dilemma STEAM means the project should be STEM project, STEAM project. I will show the project, the example of the project. And then at the end, it is the process of reflection, the student reflection, not only the understanding, but also the values. So it is the project that we has been developed. We got the grant from UNESCO that integrating the dilemma story on the UNESCO project. So what is the focus of UNESCO is learning for empathy. So develop the empathy throughout the dilemma story. So I have been developed for 10 subjects in the curricula. So it's religion, civic education, science, math. So if you would like to learning the empathy, not only the role of religion studies, not only the role of civic education, but also the role of science, mathematics, and the other subject. So I think it has been translated to English as well. If you would like to get the ideas how to implementing the dilemma story in the STEM school subject. And it is the examples, when this it is the flood, banjir in Indonesia. It is the mathematics topic. So can you imagine like learn mathematics through the flood, and then learn the science into the earthquake, probably easy, but learn bahasa, learn English using the story of father, probably it will be challenging. But it is the way that integrating I would like to give the example of the mathematics. When we learn mathematics, we use the flood. So the flood is the bridge is falling down. So what happened? The student need to develop the project, and the student develop the bridge using the stick. So it is the example of the stick. So it is the stick. And then what happened with the earthquake in science? The student developed the house, the miniature of the house that is difficult to dissect by the earthquake. And then it is the example of they explain about the photo stories. It's about helping the grandma every day to taking care to the toilet and so on. So it is a part of my project on UNESCO. And it is the publication. If you would like to have a look on the RECA is a part also because we use the learning environment survey. So it is mixed method using the qualitative and quantitative one. You can see the example and also the instrument. And it is the questionnaire, and also, for example, using the cooking oil dilemma, because it is related to the topic in chemistry, reduction and oxidation. So student will understand about the cooking using is very problem with the health and also with the environment. So it is the example if you would like to have look in detail. So I put it is already mentioned before, and it is all the books. It is for elementary school, for example, renewable energy, and then dilemma STEAM. Dilemma is dilemma story. The project to solve the dilemma story is the STEAM project. So for example, using the plastic as dilemma, so we create the biodegradable plastic. I will show all the pictures. So all after this is all the picture. So it is how we implementing it. So you see that I mentioned about putting the pictures. So we putting the picture how difficult to get water in East Indonesia, because it is dry season and so on. So we would like to encourage the student what they feel about when they see the pictures. And then the next one is about the example that we develop, like water treatment project. The project STEAM, and the dilemma is the story of the laundry that I have been mentioned. The pollution, we create the smoke absorbent pollution, and then plastic biodegradable to solve the dilemma of plastic, the dilemma of using plastic. And it is about student design, it is STEAM, the student design the shape and also create, and they create the competition, which one is good for creating the green fuel. And it is the plastic, the student dilemma story about Indonesia is the second largest country that contribute to the world plastic waste. And the student develop different kind of plastic biodegradable through the banana, cassava, and so on, and working in the group and presenting all to the school's students. And it is also that I mentioned air pollution dilemma, and then it's also alternative energy, all the small miniature that has been using by the students. And it is the using cooking oil, so because it's couple times to use to fry it, so we can use several things to do the soap. We can make a soap, and we can make a candle, and we can make it more clearer because of we use the banana skin. And it is all the publication is just published on the sustainability journal on about ethical dilemma STEAM teaching, if you would like to have a look. And then for the conclusion that I conclude for this meeting, that education and sustainability is challenging, but because of it is really not only awareness but doing something for the environment, that was student agency is very important. And then I believe it can be future direction in education as sustainability. And then even though we face the challenge of integrating dilemma into relevant curricula, students, teacher paradigms on the teaching and learning, and also managing time and resources. And for me, is teaching is not only about delivering knowledge, but also about touching your student hearts, stimulating their thinking and empowering their action. And it is our book chapter about the research for sustainability future, and also dilemma thing that a part of my writing on this in this book. And then it is all my activities. If you would like to have visiting Jakarta, please do, and then contact me through the email or WhatsApp. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. In Indonesia, it's already to almost 1 p.m. and then hopefully it can stimulate the question, or probably we can collaborate in the future. Thank you.
Sure, ma'am.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you very much for the informative address, throwing light on the Indonesian point of view. Really very nice, very informative and thought-provoking also. Thank you, ma'am, for being with us and sharing your expertise. Now,
Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Now, Kosaga sir, are you online?
Yes, I am there.
Okay,
Good,
sir.
good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good afternoon from Malaysia.
Good afternoon.
Okay, sir. Shall we start, sir?
Yes.
Okay. The next invited talk is by Professor Dr. Kosaga Yagappa Raja from Putra International College, Malaysia, and he's also a visiting lecturer in Trine University, USA. Sir, we are very happy to have you with us this morning. A brief intro to you, sir, to the August audience. He is Performance Management, OB and HR, Special Interest in Accounting and Finance, Training and Development. He has received many awards, the National Parayaran Award in 2009-10 for motivating the staff and students towards environmental awareness in India 2010, Best Teacher Award in 2010 by Dank Jagaran, one of the leading newspaper in Dhanbad district, for the contribution to education in India, for motivating the staff and students to achieve 100% result in the board exam for 2 consecutive years. And he's been in charge of the facing the challenges of higher education in the changing scenario, International Journal of Business Intelligence and Innovations. And he has held administrative responsibilities like the head of the Department of Commerce from Laila College, Chhattisgarh, India, Business School Coordinator for 6 branches, Olympia College, Malaysia, Program Leader in Lim Kong Ving University, Malaysia, Program Leader in Mantisa College, Principal St. Xavier's High School, Principal St. Thomas High School, India, Jharkhand. And he has been served as the external examiner for PhD, and he has been a research supervisor for projects in MBA and external examiner for many of the PhDs. He's holding several professional membership as peer reviewer, editorial board member, AEIC Annual Academic Committee member, Axon Consultancy, Southern Board, Kuala Lumpur, Associate Editor in Primax International Journal of Commerce and Management, Bangalore, HRDF-TTT, Consultant, Member Editorial Board of International Journal of Dynamic Educational Research Society, Sub-Editor. He's also been the course content development for curriculum development for high schools and master's degree, DBA and PhD. He has attended many conferences, seminars, and served as a resource person in many national and international conferences. His biodata runs to around 6 pages. I think I'll be eating up his time. So thank you very much for being with us. We are honored by your presence, sir. Now the platform is yours. On behalf of the organizing committee, a warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you very much for a big introduction. Thanks to Annamalai University and Dr. Sailila for contacting me, including me in this nutrition platform. I am from Commerce, Management, Finance. I have taught hotel management at the master's level, but this is the first time coming into the nutrition level, very basic to our very lives. My sharing will be based on F&B, Food and Beverage Industry Report, Malaysia. This report is produced by one of the private companies in Malaysia, and it's a very recent report. So I'll be sharing the data from there, but of course with my subjective reading into it as a foreigner. I am from India, Indian national. For about 10 years, I am here teaching in the universities, different universities at the contract basis, freelance basis. So most of it will be my own subjective reading and focusing on this one particular report. So that's it. So Malaysia is a very small country, having 14 states with 34 million people. It's something like Tamil Nadu state, in India. And the state where I am is Malacca, has got 4 districts. In half a day or 4 hours, you can roam around all the places by your car. You can go around and come back to the same place. So what I'm trying to say is geographically, we are very small. We are very small. But we are rich in many things like tourism. Tourism is one of the top priority. I am from commerce background and addressing a conference on food and nutrition. Okay, so my focus will be thrusting these two, commerce and food, nutrition, food industry together. So given this scenario of Malaysia, what is happening? The pandemic has disrupted the whole world, put us into the online mode. And in this situation, we are Now, moving forward, one of the very basic to our living is food. One of the very basic thing to our living is food and nutritious food. Before me, the speakers I was listening today, luckily I did not have classes. Early morning I had a class, then after that I was free. So I was listening to all the talk, focusing on the nutrition aspect of it, the good points where we need to focus further. And just before me, the dilemma aspect, the word dilemma was used very liberally to educate ourselves. So I'll be sharing on few things. Now, given the condition of Malaysia, the country is investing, of course, Malaysia is known for food, okay? If you tell a Malaysian that there is a food available, they will travel 3 states across for food because they love food very much, more than anything else. This is my personal reading, okay? This is my personal reading. Okay, now what is so good about Malaysia? Why investors choose Malaysia? It is because of the Indonesia, the closest country, Indonesia, Thailand. Few countries are very close to each other, and the trade relation policies are very liberal and very easy access. Okay. Secondly, the educated population here. Okay. Second point is educated population. Third one is the developed infrastructure that is available, and the technology. And finally, the legal framework which enables the business people to come into this country. Okay. If you look at Malaysia, one of the main products of Malaysia is palm oil. Okay, palm oil. It's very, very prominent. Apart from that, most of the products are brought out from other countries to this country and processed in a better way, Okay, so this is where we are when we think of Malaysia, yes, this is Malaysia. The first place, tourists. Malaysia is inviting investors and tourists. It is one of their major sources of income. And I said already, Malaysians love food and love quality food. Love quality food, not quantity food. Okay, not quantity food like the rice that we eat in a huge quantity. They like the quality food, and they are very much into it, into the nutrition part, into the aspect. But of course, there are reasons for not all people get access to all things, as we know. Okay, so that's where the lack of things come into. And also the trade policies of this country is amazing, having international trade policies, trade policy with China, trade policy with India is amazing. Okay, then the growth, the GDP is growing year by year. Last year it was 8% is higher last year, and this year also is expected about 10%. So what all this says? This tells us that the import-export policies for this country, the trade policy with regard to food is prevalent, very much prevalent, and it is improving. Talking about the key trends, I said tourists. The first aspect is tourists. Corona brought it down, but it is picking up. It's almost back to normal, and the face mask is optional. And second one is import export is developing much faster, higher than before COVID. Okay, before COVID. Why this is? Because of the certain government policies are relaxed, the tariff is reduced, and government provides the SMEs and the small business owners certain opportunities. And on the other side, the challenges, consumers are buying less comparing to the previous before COVID. Why? Because of the price rise globally, And in order to tackle that, government has come up with tariff policies at a different level. The challenges that need to be addressed is environmental friendly. The plastic ban is yes, there is change is always difficult. Change will bring in certain resistance. So this environmental friendly plastic ban policy is getting a simmering resistance from part of the people, because we are so used to plastics, so convenient. Okay, and stringent regulations of the government, including reducing the waste and increasing the health aspect of the food items, health nutritious aspect, as your conference title goes. Then e-commerce, there's a survey about the e-commerce online buying. 80% of the existing buyers would love to continue their online purchasing. So there is a move from face-to-face trade, buying, selling, to online. So when you say the data reads 80%, it may be 100% or it may be 80%, but the major junk is there. And another conscious thing that is going on within the people here is the vegetarianism, the duplicate goat, duplicate chicken, and duplicate egg. Okay, the health consciousness has come in, is developing now. After COVID, it is much more. We all want to live one day more, 1 year more, 10 years more. Okay, so it is prevalent among the educated group. And I said in the beginning, Malaysia is rather developed and rather educated group. And the decrease or reducing the wastage and increasing the supply chain management, these are all some of the challenges are faced. Then coming to the future focus is only one: health consciousness, only one. Now, under health consciousness, if the country is talking about here, what people are doing, what they want is organic food. Okay, again, when it comes to organic food, there are a lot of companies coming in, foreign companies coming in to support this organic food system. And plant-based food, packaged food. Yes, another thing that we notice here is almost 90% is packaged food. People love to go to eat in the restaurant, and therefore government has to set up food policy, selling policy, and health, hygiene. These are all well taken care. And low calorie because of the sicknesses, diabetes and hypertension. Now, having said this, I forgot to say at the beginning, Malaysia has got 3 ethnic groups. The major junk is about 75% locals, Malays, they call Malays, and they speak Malay, language called Malay. Second major group is Chinese, about 20%, and they speak Chinese, and a few more branches of Chinese languages they speak. Third major group is Indian group. Indian group is about 4 to 5%, and almost all the religions are prevalent here. And so this is about the ethnic group of Malaysia. The 3 major ethnic groups are present here in Malaysia. I think that should be enough. I wanted to share a few things. Yes, on the whole, the report says that there is a fast growth ever than before after the pandemic. Okay, people have observed, gone through certain experience during the pandemic period, and now the avenue is open and it is taking a mushroom growth or a faster growth or a faster development as per the data present in this food and beverage report. Thank you very much for this opportunity given to me, Dr. Sailila and Annamalai University. If you have any questions to ask, 1 or 2 questions, I would love to answer. Not that I know all the answers. When you ask, if I know, I will say. If I don't know, we can search together.
Thank you, Professor, for the
Thank
nice
you very
lecture.
much. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
The participants, you can give in your question in the chat box.
Yes. I am from Tamil Nadu, Thoothukudi district.
Vanakkam, sir.
Vanakkam, yes. Vanakkam.
Any questions from the participants?
Chat box chat enable.
Okay, sir. No.
Okay.
Thank you for informative addresses, throwing light on Malaysia, about the
Thank you.
industry, tourism industry. Really nice
Yes.
and informative, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Annie, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Okay. Welcome, ma'am.
Good morning. Thank you.
On video, ma'am?
Just a second. I think you can.
Next, we have Dr. Annie Rosita from nursing faculty from College of Health Sciences from United Arab Emirates. On behalf of the organizing committee, a warm welcome to you, ma'am. A brief intro to Madam. Dr. Annie Rosita is a nursing faculty in College of Health Sciences, Abu Dhabi from 2013. She is specialized in obstetrical and gynecological nursing from Christian Medical College and Hospital, Vellore, which is one of the premier institutions in India and globally. She is a certified International Nursing Association for Clinical Simulation Learning. She holds a PhD in nursing with major in women's health and PhD in education with majors of management, leadership, and policy. Prior to the present profile in FCHS, she has rich clinical and teaching experience. She has held the post as Acting Director of Nursing, Chief Nurse Educator, and JCIA, Joint Commission of International Accreditation Coordinator and Regional Manager for World Class Corporate Hospital Group in India. She is passionate in teaching. Her research interest and publications primarily are on women's health and nursing education. On behalf of the organizing committee, we are very fortunate to have you amidst us this morning to deliver the invited talk. On behalf, welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the introduction. And I'm from India. I'm specifically from Tamil Nadu, Chennai. So, Vanakkam.
Vanakkam.
And thank you. Vanakkam.
Which part of UAE, ma'am?
I'm in Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, I'm in Abu Dhabi. I'm here teaching. I'm here as a teaching faculty in one of the government Government College of Health Sciences and teaching nursing nursing program. I'm here for the past 10 years. Thank you for contacting me to give a speech on this wonderful event, wonderful mega event, and I really feel at home talking in this event, and especially being from Chennai, it feels really at home to be a part of this one. Let me just start the presentation. Can you see my screen, please?
No, ma'am, you have not shared, ma'am.
Share?
Share your screen, ma'am. Only then it will be visible. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, now the topic for today for my presentation is about application of evidentiary standards to provide health education on nutrition. Now, nutrition is thought to play a fundamental role in the prevention, treatment, and prognosis of both acute and chronic diseases. Now, nutrition research, just like any other field, nutrition research is a field that does not only aim at satisfying our epistemic curiosity, but also at solving important problems which is in the society. And the outcome of the research is basically used for informing actions, which is aimed at improving health and preventing diseases, and also for educating the community as a whole, and also to promote healthy nutrition in the country. Now, the importance of nutrition education, which is the major theme of the conference, which is also focusing here. Now, the importance of nutrition education is a means for improving nutrition of the community, where the lack of awareness about the dietary requirements and the nutritive values of different food is the main cause for malnutrition-related health problems among the school children, among the pregnant women, among the lactating mother, and other vulnerable section of the community, who can be the old age group and people below poverty and so on. Now, nutrition education should be provided, which is a practical, and it should be easily adaptable to the socioeconomic status, the food habits of the audience whom we are catering to, and also related, in our health education, the food resources that we are mentioning should be the one which is locally available. So our health education related to the nutrition becomes more specific and adaptable by people whom we are approaching. Now, the aims of health education on nutrition is increase awareness to the public, enhance motivation of people, facilitating nutrition-related decision-making. So, nutrition-related decision-making can be adopting certain nutrition aspects, or adopting or including a particular food group in the eating habits and so on. Improving nutritional support and advisory services, provide growth-centered educational approach, and also contribute in working with other professionals, major governmental and non-governmental organizations. Now, one of the challenges today which we are facing right now is a lot of information which is floating around, which is to face the fake news related to health education and nutrition. And due to this, there's a lot of potential impact on people's lives, which are very detrimental to their lifestyle, and further health problems can be arising because of that. Now, World Health Organization warned that COVID-19 had is being accompanied by massive infodemic. There is a lot of information which is spread out in the social media. Some are only very few are very accurate, which can be followed. But when it goes to the public, it's very difficult for them to find out the reliable resources. Now, therefore, the World Health Organization during that time and also now is very much dedicated to provide us information which is evidence-based information. And it is very important for us as educators to also follow evidence-based practice and evidence-based information in our teaching, in our health education planning, which we do for the public, or anything that we have taken up to educate the public about related to nutrition or any other aspects. Now, misinformation shared on the internet about healthy food choices can prevent anyone from fueling the body and the brain with the correct nutrition. Now, it's important for the public to understand when they are being misled. Now, when I say being misled, what is really happening when they are being misled is they are told only half of the story. So when they are taking any decisions related to the nutrition or any other aspects, now the decision which is taken by them are not the informed one, because we have only told them the advantages and did not tell the disadvantage or the side effects or the adverse effects of a particular decision that needs to be taken related to nutrition, which we are focusing today. Now, nutrition fraud is a leading example of health fraud. Now, it can be described as the abuses that can occur as a result of misleading claims for food and nutrition products. Now, these products, food and nutrition products, these products can include traditional foods, dietary supplements, dietary products, food substances, diet plans, or even devices that can be utilized to cook these foods and so on. Now, during the time of pandemic, there was a lot of focus related to nutrition, which was throwing light on obesity at that time, and the studies or the health education related to nutrition were focusing and mentioning that obese adults are at greater risk during COVID-19 pandemic. And it is also mentioned that obesity triples the rate of hospitalization, impairs immunity, increases the ICU admission rate, mechanical ventilation rate, and the death rate. And to identify the reliable information among these ones which are available, these meta-analysis was the one which was mostly looked into to see whether all of these informations are reliable, or there may not be many studies which is focusing on COVID-19 because it was new to the world. But then there were studies which were focusing on obesity, on certain pathological aspects, how it can contribute and so on. So we were able to get information about the disease impact on the disease, obesity's impact on the disease itself. Now, where do people get nutrition information from? Now, has health professionals, information from the health professionals, on-site online websites are available, news service, educators in classes, social media, which is one of the majorly sought aspect, friends and family, coaches and trainers, magazines and books, television and movies. Now, there are different types of knowledge that is available for the public and available for us educators when we are planning these health education programs related to nutrition, which are empirical, traditional knowledge, some knowledge derived from the clinical expertise, some are intuitive, and some are personal experiences. Among all of these, now something which has more credible is this evidence-based information, or information related to this evidence-based practice, which is of very, very high regard, which is of high quality, which is based on the research, and which provide a lot of proof. And these scientific evidences are more rigorous, and these are the evidences which we need to take it into account when we are planning the health education related to nutrition or any other aspects. Now, this is the pyramid of the evidences that we are very familiar of. So when we are planning any teachings on health education, it is very important that we not only look at the unfiltered information, which includes the case control studies, randomized studies, cohort studies. Now, I'm not saying these are bad. Now, these are just categorized as unfiltered information because it is done by one or a group of people on a particular aspect in a particular area, which may not be throwing light on different aspects of that particular field that is into consideration. Now, the top portion of the pyramid are the filtered informations. Now, these are the areas which we need to go for to pick up informations when we are planning for any health talk or any health education related to nutrition, which is specific to our topic for today. Now, one of the example which is given here is, now we might see people talking so much about intermittent fasting contributing so much in reducing the weight. But here on the screen, you can see some controversial studies which mentions that it does not really make any change. So we need to look at both the sides, the studies which is supporting and the studies which is controversial, and which needs to be put out to the public so that they make a decision which is an informed one.
Now, the low-fat FODMAP diet is something which is very commonly spoken about these days in this part of the place where I am here. Now, these are nothing but fermentable oligosaccharides, disaccharides, monosaccharides, and polyols. Now, this is what it is, where this particular diet, predominantly this needs to be prescribed by the health professionals. Now, because the informations are available for the public, mentioning which one to avoid and which one to take it or include, it does not mean that they can self-prescribe or decide on what to follow. And it is, as educators, it is our responsibility to inform our audience and guide them related to which are the sources where they can take information from and which are the information where they need to have a big question mark about. Now, here are some suggestions to identify some credible sources of nutrition information where we need to be aware of or beware of some sources where the main intention is to sell the products, and some can claim some claim with some statement with the dramatic scaring statements, unrealistic claims, and some claims will be based on some anecdotes of some expert. And majorly, we need to be careful about the websites which is from .com, which is more commercialized. So there are very good websites with .com, which gives us more reliable, good information. But what is to be kept in mind is to see whether these informations are reliable, credible, and which can be followed just like that. And these are the sources where we can rely on, if those sources are some research articles or publications which are peer reviewed and the data is very reliable and it is done by the scientists who are having a good credibility in the field of the area that we are looking into. Now, scientific statements and recommendations can be looked upon, and websites which is ending in GOV, which is a governmental website, which is more reliable, websites ending with edu or org. And it is also important when we are looking for some topic of interest to, most of the time we really, if you want to get quick information, we don't look at PubMed and so many other databases. We quickly go to the Google. Now, when we go to Google, it is important that we look at some of the the news tab. And even if we are fascinated with the news that's given in the news tab, it is our responsibility to see if those articles are linking itself to some research article, and those research articles should be again a credible one, which will add credibility to the topics that we are looking at. Now, here are some of the resources, some of the sources for credible nutrition information. If you look at now, these websites are ending with org, gov, and edu, and so on. Now, these are the websites which are more reliable, where we as educators, we can look at these informations when we are planning for health education related to nutrition. Now, here again, here is a table which says what is the source and what is an example of good credible resources for nutrition related information. As you can see, some of the professional health organizations, scientific organizations, government organizations, registered dietitians, where we need to look upon, and some scientific and peer reviewed journals again are something which can be more reliable. Now, these are some resources which is more related to the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, which again can be looked upon. Now, as we are planning for any health education for nutrition, we also need to be careful about some nutrition advice which is misleading. There are some red flags related to this misleading nutrition information. There are around 7 red flags. The first one is about the strong claims and no product testing. So if there is a strong claim saying this is good and this helps in this way, now it's our responsibility to make sure whether that particular product has been tested and the results are valid. Now, there is a lot of talks about probiotic drink that is available, but again, we need to look at studies if those probiotic drinks can still bring about the outcome which they claim, whether these probiotics can still withstand the acidic environment in the stomach and so on. Now, another red flag is if any health advices, we need to tell our audience and our public whom we are giving health education that any claim which does not include the signs to be omitted straight away, because there is no support mentioning if this can work or whether this has any side effect or adverse effect that can possibly be caused later. Again, in some of the articles when we are preparing, we might find some studies supporting the particular aspect. Now, again, it's our responsibility to see whether those studies which are supporting, which are not supporting, who is the population. Now here, for example, if the news or the article says, here is an article, here are the research studies which says wheat is bad for health, and then again if the studies that has been referred to is done with patients with celiac disease where there is intolerance to wheat, again, this is not a study which we need to consider something which is supporting the statement which is given by the particular article and so on. Again, we need to look at whether the study which is being referred to applies to the population whom we are catering to. In short, what we need to look at is whether the research article that we are looking at to prepare the health education is the same study population or the sample which we are going to be focusing on. Again, the studies need to be the recent ones and should not be the outdated studies where the informations are where the outcome of the research is changing with multiple research activities going around. Something which was good enough 10 years back is not good now. Again, we need to see if the information is biased, especially if the information is basically published on a particular company's website. And most of the information where the bloggers or some celebrities are endorsing about, again, need to be looked at. Then sometimes some information related to nutrition will be too good to be true, they say. Statements like it is proven or it's a miracle cure that's available, it's been found out it's a miracle cure and so on. So if the news or a particular item is mentioning that X is much better than the Y, then again it's our responsibility to see who is saying that, where is it being published, what is the intention and so on. The rule of thumb, the stronger the claim, the more science is needed to support the claim that is given. Now, again, the article or the news or the publication should have some research studies which is of high credibility supporting the information that is available to us. Now, these are some of the examples where some techniques related to the recent buzzword, which is the weight loss, for example, whether there are multiple techniques available. So whether all of these techniques are, basically related to this evidence statement to achieve weight loss and energy deficit is required. So whichever technique is advised, so this is the one which we need to go and look at for. Now, nutrition education, again, it needs to be contextualized. So something which works in US, something which works in UAE may not work in the place where we are planning our activities related to nutrition. So, and also the audience, also the people whom we are catering to create awareness. So it needs to be really, really contextualized. Now here, if we are going to be talking about the weight loss, somebody's BMI needs to be taken into account. If they have any other risk factors like morbidity, any hypertension, diabetes mellitus, what is their waist circumference, any cardiac diseases, any family histories, any history of smoking, and then the chronic diseases, what is the level of activity, what is their age group, and what are their lab values. So there is nothing like one size fits all. Yeah. So it needs to be really contextualized. Now, here is an example where they say, here is a study which again published in the PubMed.gov in 2020, where it says they categorize obesity as metabolically healthy obesity and metabolically unhealthy obesities.
Ma'am,
And
ma'am, still how many slides, ma'am? It's time for technical session.
okay, we are just quickly finishing. Yeah,
Yes.
so this is the example. And here are multiple diets, which is, I mean, the diet which is recommended. Again, it should be important for us to look at certain aspects, as I mentioned before. So mainly, it is the evidence-based nutrition that needs to be given importance when we are looking at providing health education, health-related education to people. Now, specifically on nutrition. Now, this is the essence of everything of the presentation, which is we need to look at the weight of the evidence while formulating the teaching program related to nutrition and so on. Thank you. And these are my references.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your wonderful session. Actually, time is not enough for us to get your lecture. Very nice presentation, ma'am. You have dealt with importance of nutrition and health education and the about obesity, race, ethnicity, and COVID-19, the relationship between health education and nutrition, quality of evidences, sources for credible nutrition. You have shared some journals, links, everything. It was very useful, but the time is not enough.
I know.
I'd like to have another session, I hope, for about 1 hour at least. Being international and we have more technical sessions. We are limited to 15 minutes only, ma'am. So,
sure.
So thank
Sorry
you.
if I had taken long time. Sorry if I've taken long time.
No problem, but it was very useful actually. We learned more about it. Thank you so much for coming here, ma'am. We will meet in another some occasion. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for the opportunity.
So dear participants, those who have technical sessions at this link alone can remain. Others can leave the session and go to their respective links. Actually, for this 12 p.m. session, there are 2 links. One is the Zoom link, another one is Google Meet that is shared in your email. So if the link is same, you can remain here. Otherwise, you go for the Google Meet link. Only 15 members are allotted for this session in this Zoom. Other 10 members are in Google Meet. So you can leave the session and join that Google Meet. Okay. Please, after giving your attendance, everyone can leave. Only those who are scheduled in this session can remain here. Those who are scheduled for Zoom alone can remain here. Please leave the session. introduce பண்ணிக்கிட்டு
Hello.
Ma'am, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
So this is Karthik Kumar, ma'am.
chat off பண்ணிடுங்க.
Sound of- Very good afternoon, dear participants. We are stepping into the first technical session of the International Multidisciplinary Online Conference on Nutrition and Health Education. Along with me is Dr. Jagreet Kaur, Department of Education, Punjab University, Patiala, Punjab, is there to chair the session. And there are 15 presenters to present their papers in the session. Whether the presenters are available.
Raise your hands.
Karnam Shilpavali. Please raise your hand if you are present there. Okay. Mrs. Reshmi Panchari, student from Gujarat.
She can
Okay.
present now.
Okay, let me call upon Ms. Reshmi Panchari to present her paper in about 5 minutes. There are 15 presenters. We earnestly request the presenter to confine to 5 to 7 minutes. You can highlight the major findings of your paper, and if necessary, your presentation will be followed by an interaction for 2 minutes. So kindly cooperate with us. Thank you. Mrs.
Is the presenter available in the session? Presenter is there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please unmute yourself and
I'm
Ms. Reshmi, are you presenting? You are not audible.
Am I audible now? Hello.
You are audible now. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm trying to present my PPT. Just wait for a minute, sir. Please give me a minute.
Okay. Meanwhile, let me call upon the next presenter to be ready. Geetanjali, research scholar, Jai Narayan Vyas University, Jodhpur, Rajasthan. The next one is Nazim Fatima and Monica Shib, research
Sir, can you-
scholars.
Hello.
Yeah, you go ahead, please.
Can you see my PPT on the screen?
We don't see, we cannot see.
Live stream ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. Technical session live stream.